These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hi, I'm Daniel, founder of Pretty Litter. Cats and cat owners deserve better than any old-fashioned litter. That's why I teamed up with scientists and veterinarians to create Pretty Litter. Its innovative crystal formula has superior odor control and weighs up to 80% less than clay litter. Just one bag lasts up to a month, meaning fewer refills and less scooping. Pretty Litter even monitors health by changing colors to help detect early signs of potential illness. It's the world's smartest kitty litter.
Go to prettylitter.com and use code Pandora for 20% off your first order.
Hey, weirdos. It's me. It's Alaina. What's going on? How's your day? I hope it's awesome. That's all I wanted to say. No, I'm just kidding. This is a message because I think a couple of episodes ago, we talked about how we are going back to the OG way of doing things. We're doing 2 episodes a week, 2 big old honkin' delicious juicy episodes with 1 listener tale a month, just as a little cherry, little glitter on top of a crazy month. And we're going to keep doing that. But I think we were also debating what days would be best for this new 2 episode a week cadence, because we figured, from Wednesday to Monday is a long wait for us and for you. Too much. We'd all be sad. We don't want that. So we finally came up with a good cadence. We're going to drop episodes on Monday and Thursday from here on out. So Mondays, Thursdays, that's when they'll come out on Wondery Plus. Then a week later, you will get them Monday and Thursday for everybody else. So that's what we're going to do. You deserve consistency. We want to give it to you. I know we didn't do that in the first 3 years. We were like willy-nilly, whenever you get episodes, here it is. But we're on that consistency train and we want to stay on that. And yeah, I think this is going to work for everybody. It just feels better. We don't want that big chunk of time between episodes. You don't either. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Mondays, Thursdays, new episodes. We're excited about it. It lets us really put more time and effort into these episodes, which is what they deserve and what you deserve. And we fucking love you. And I can't wait to see you every Monday and Thursday. I know I won't see you. I realize that I won't even hear you, but it feels like I will, and you will hear me. So we're all in this together. We're best friends. Thanks, guys. Mondays, Thursdays, whoop, whoop. Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
we're just coming off of a little celebratory moment. We got to see Obituary last night live in Somerville.
In Somerville, kids.
And we got to meet some of our fucking podcast BBs.
It was beautiful.
It was elegant.
You probably saw a picture. It looks like The Last Supper, but awesome.
It does look like The Last Supper, but better.
But awesome. Because there's no Brutus. Oh, Ash's microphone is literally attempting to assault her. It's falling off of the table.
No.
Mikie to the rescue.
Please
He's
hold.
gonna fix it.
All right, we're back and better than ever. And Alaina's got a correction.
It's also, it's Judas. I know it's Judas. Brutus is the Caesar one. Judas, Brutus, they're all betraying people.
I like Caesar dressing.
Am I right?
Yeah. That's my hot take. That's my hot take today, love.
I also love Caesar dressing, as long as it's not too fishy.
Yeah, that's fucking foul.
Sometimes you get one that's like, ooh, that's a lot of anchovy.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say, do you know why? I wanted to tell you something. It's really hard to tell you something that you don't already know.
That you don't already know?
I don't know. It's a lot of souls coming out today. We are both on like 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Because we got to party hardy with our fucking friends.
Yeah, it was wild. Like, I got to be an adult and go out.
And by party hardy, I mean Alaina ordered a Shirley Temple.
Just like a straight up Shirley Temple.
I know.
Yeah, nothing added to it. And it was great.
I'm happy about that. You know what Madison taught me last night? Madison from Obituary, which you should go see and buy tickets to. Plug.
They are amazing.
She taught me to mix, and I think it's a Harry Styles song, to mix Diet Coke and red wine, and Cabernet specifically. Sounds like absolutely disgustingly foul. And I was like, I trust you. I took a sip. Life-changing. It sounds fucking crazy. It's so good.
I just hate diet anything.
But it doesn't end up tasting diet because I like Diet Coke.
I was going to say, I literally hate the taste of Diet Coke.
Well, you could do it with regular Coke too. It almost has like a sangria vibe.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you should try it.
You should try it.
Stop copying me.
Oh yeah, I got yelled at. I accidentally, because I don't look at any, like, I usually don't see any comments because I'm just like, I don't go on the internet anymore. But
we go on the internet to post what we want to post.
Exactly.
And then I'm out. Get that bread.
I'm out. And I
out.
happened to be on Instagram and I got one of those like banner notifications, and it was somebody on a Morbid post being like, hey, has anyone else noticed how fucking annoying Alaina is? That she just repeats all the funny things that Ash says in a like different voice. And I was like,
they said, has anyone else noticed?
Yeah, has anyone else noticed how annoying Alaina is? And I was like,
why are you here?
I was like, what did that get you?
Sometimes I wonder if people think that's kind of like endear me to them. And I'm gonna be like, oh my God, like I know she sucks.
You're
right?
so nice for saying that. It's like, no, now Ash fucking hates you too.
I don't like you. Don't be mean to my sister. You
like,
fucking,
that doesn't work.
You fucking putz.
Like I got, like whenever it's like pit us against each other, I'm like,
not gonna work.
Do you think Ash is gonna like you for that? Like Ash is like we ride at dawn for each other. Like
literally,
it's not
like we could like punch each other in the face one day. Well, like we never have. But we could. And then Alaina could call me and be like, hey, I need you. And I'd be like, what time?
Yeah, let's go.
Like I'm here actually. So
whose car are we taking?
Whose car are we taking? I feel like I can't say that because I've never seen that movie.
That's a great movie. But
is that The Town?
But yeah, it is The Town.
Hey, look at me.
Yeah. So I just I just was like, wow, okay.
You need to sign out of the Morbid account on your phone.
I do need to,
because then you don't get those banner notifications.
Because that was the problem. I don't go looking because
of course not.
Because whenever I do, I accidentally. That's the only thing you'll see.
Is nasty.
You'll miss all the nice things that people say.
Yeah,
which is sad.
Yeah.
And you only will see that one nasty one because they always make sure to be like, you know, has anyone noticed that Alaina is annoying? And I'm like, okay.
So sign out of that, but then you might need to also, because I need to do this, you might need to unfollow Morbid, which is so sad.
That's so sad.
But I follow Morbid because like, it's my podcast. Say it.
Yes, my podcast.
Oh my God, you're so annoying.
You're so annoying.
But so I'll like scroll by and there, it gives you like that like little like 2 or 3 comments. I always see the meanest thing.
Always.
That's like, why can't Ash speak?
Yeah,
and I'm like, because brain damage, okay? I don't know.
Those are always the ones that show. And I'm like, wow, Instagram, like that's fake as fuck. Why do you just show me the mean ones?
I saw one recently that was like, wow, has a podcast, but she can't fucking talk.
It's
I was like,
all right.
Well, there's 2 of us for when I can't talk.
And I just gotta ask again. I know we've all asked this before. what's wrong with you? Like, who does that? Like, who just goes, like, what do you get out of that? Like, that girl who was like, has anyone noticed that Alaina's annoying? I'm like, even if you gathered an army of people that were like, we are the riders of Alaina being annoying, and you started a group and you had meetings and like you had like a special handshake that you did.
That'd be
like,
cool.
do you feel good? Like, what else? What are you getting out of it?
Also, why are you doing a census on my post?
That's the thing. And it's like on my post.
That's annoying in the mail. I don't need it on my post.
But and also that person followed me, and I was like, all right.
Well, hate following is a thing that people love to do.
Well, it's a hate following. It's like,
you love me.
I was literally like, sounds like someone protests too much.
Thou doth.
I don't think you find me annoying. I think you like me.
I know. It's like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, you shouldn't pay it any mind. Like, of course. But sometimes you just got to vent it out.
Which that's the thing. It's like normally, like we've really gotten to a point years through this that we don't pay it any mind. Like the constructive stuff, sure. But like
totally.
Just people being dicks like that. Like that's not constructive at all. Like you can fuck yourself.
No, that's just mean.
But like,
and,
that,
go listen to
that kind of shit is like, you're being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. And I don't know what you got out of it, but I sure hope it gave you some kind of jolly, because
I hope it
sounds like you need it.
Well, also, you're just like creating a negative space for yourself. And like, I speak from experience. If you put things out into the world that are negative, even if you're not talking shit, like even if you're just talking negatively, comes back to you.
It's true.
And then you're just attracting negative.
Karma is the thing, man.
Attract abundance.
That's why we're and you know, it took like a while to get here, but that's why we're in a place where we're just like, you know what? Whatever. And we're also in a place of just like, we're gonna keep trying to like build people up that deserve to be built up. Like that's why we shout out different creators for you guys to go check out.
And you're also
because that's
like the queen of that. I don't even do that as much as you. Like you're so philanthropic.
It's just fun, and it's really fun to see when like especially on TikTok. I've been seeing it lately, and it's like really making me happy. You guys like fucking kill it.
Yeah,
because like morbid listeners will go follow these people that we mention,
right?
And then they'll be like, "Oh, I came here for morbid," and it's so fun to see because then it's like. They're always like, oh, I'm so excited to have found this. This is so fun. And it's like, I love like blowing those people up.
You know what that's called? Community.
That's called community, man.
That's called my brothers in Christ.
Hell yeah.
I love
That's
y'all.
what we are.
That's called my brothers in Brutism.
You guys are the real ones. So don't think that we take like the isn't Alaina annoying ones as like our listeners. That's not who we listen to. Don't worry about it.
Can't talk.
You guys are exactly. Like you guys are the real ones. We know who you are. We know who this community is. We met a lot of you last night.
It was so cool.
It was wonderful. You guys are magical.
That will never not be cool.
Yeah. So we know who you are. So don't worry. They don't represent you. But
anyways,
I just wanted to put it out there that like, you know, if you're doing that kind of shit on the internet, like you should probably reevaluate where you sit in life, because that's a really pathetic thing to do.
One more thing.
What?
I just have to tell you, if you're doing that, I'm literally just picturing you sitting in a crusty basement picking your toe cheese.
That's actually very true.
That's exactly, because I'm like, you're not happy, and I know you have a fungal infection, and I'm sorry about it, but
because think about all the times in your life that you have talked shit like that or been somebody like that when like you're younger and like all that. It was always in the worst fucking times of your life.
When you hate
yourself. It was
yourself.
never when you were happy. It was never when you were a fulfilled person.
No.
And that's why I'm just like, wow, that's sad.
No, I can honestly
that's a bummer for you.
I have never written a nasty comment on somebody else's Instagram.
It's so strange.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's so strange.
Have I subtweeted many people in my day? Abso-fucking-lutely.
But I'm not going on podcasts being like,
one time I even subtweeted Drew when we were in our breakup stage, and he texted me and he was like, did you just fucking subtweet me? And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Like, I don't even know what a subtweet is, Drew.
Who are you?
Okay.
He's like, we dated for a year and a half. I know you're the subtweet queen of the century.
You're like, I don't know him.
I'm like, who are you? And then I'm like, wait, I love you, married me.
Oh, love.
I know. What a wild ride.
That was a wild ride.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price, so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
All right, so we're in part 2 of a case.
We're in part 2 of the Burger Chef murders. This is a really sad one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bummer. It's technically still unsolved, which is always a hard pill to swallow.
I love it though when you say
technically,
because then I get a little flutter.
Yeah, because it's like we got a pretty viable suspect.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, there's a pretty viable one.
Sorry. Did they come about recently or have they been?
No, it's been out there and we'll talk about them, but it's one of those things where you just can't pin it. It's like,
probably because they washed down the crime scene.
Yeah.
That might have something to do with it.
There was that whole nonsense.
And didn't investigate for a minute.
Yeah. For a solid minute.
Yeah. a brief period of time.
But so at the end of part 1, I was talking about how, they really had exhausted the few leads that they got. And the state police had actually publicly stated, in this case, we've got to hope that the killer or killers may have told someone who has a conscience who will come forward. So they're not even hoping now that the killer has a conscience. They're hoping that the person that the killer tells this to, they have a conscience and they come forward.
Also, some killers are pretty good at secrets.
Yeah.
So you should probably...
That tends to be one of their main traits.
I feel like they should explore other avenues of investigative work.
You never want to hear investigators go, well, the thing we're banking on
that he tells
is that this guy just straight up confesses to someone.
You might be waiting a while.
And not only that, confesses to someone that has a conscience. It's that's a lot.
Forever.
I don't want to rest all of my hopes and dreams on that. I'd rather rest it on you investigating the case.
Same.
But either way, that sucks. I had mentioned it before, but in 1978, Speedway police were dealing with a lot more shit than they normally did. This super small Midwestern town was really being pushed to the limit of its resources. We mentioned in part 1 that there was these random horrific bombings that were seeming and ended up being connected to the murder of a woman. And that woman was 69-year-old housewife Julia Skyfers. She was shot to death under very mysterious circumstances. The bombings that followed were just more stress and mystery added on to this whole thing. They happened on September 1st. 3 bombings happened in Speedway. That Saturday, there were 2 more. And then another one the next day. And the last one happened the following day at Speedway High School.
Oh my God.
So it was just constant.
A bombing is one of my biggest fears.
Yeah. And
you just don't know.
They were being put in trash cans and stuff. And at the high school, I think they were found in a gym bag. Somebody picked up a gym bag and it exploded.
Oh my God.
And people were wounded by shrapnel.
I bet,
it was tough.
And you said they went unsolved too, right? The bombings?
They did for a while. So these crimes were taking up all the resources and time that this really small town PD had to offer. They were not able to muster up a whole lot more for anything else. And as November turned to December, state and local police were really just grasping at anything that could take the Burger Chef case forward. They just had nothing. But they were not entirely without leads, because Speedway police were continuing to receive leads from the public, from telephone calls, letters, and in the end, they actually produced at least 36 leads that they could deem at least slightly credible, which isn't a whole lot.
No.
But really, the best leads that they had were the tip from that young couple who had been approached by those two men in the parking lot of the Burger Chef.
Because they were packing.
And this was because they were necking. And this was like an hour or so before the robbery and kidnapping occurred. So this was a pretty good witness statement to have. The police department didn't have a sketch artist on Chef.
Rock on.
On staff.
I didn't even catch that.
I'm tired. I need more caffeine. But they also didn't have the funds or resources available to get a professional one.
Right.
So detectives found and hired Robin England, who was an art student at Ball State University.
Ball State.
Also was the niece of one of the investigators on the case.
Ooh.
And they were willing to create sculpture busts from the descriptions that were provided by the witnesses. And those witnesses later said that the busts were, quote, between 95 and 100% accurate.
Wow. Busts are always so interesting to me.
These busts are very interesting looking busts.
Oh,
I will say.
I saw that little glimmer in your eye.
They're very interesting looking. And a composite drawing was made from the busts and it was circulated throughout the press.
Okay.
Now, and again, we have the witnesses saying that these are very accurate. So that means that the composite images are pretty accurate. 95 to 100%. That's huge.
Right.
And they were, at one point, we're going to see that they were able to find a couple of guys that literally are like dead ringers for these guys. And somehow they weren't able to place them in Speedway at the time of the murders. And it like shocked me.
Are they the suspect?
No.
Damn.
So photographs of these busts were circulated around the media. And a statement from State Police Sergeant Chuck Hibbert was released saying, "We are not calling these two men suspects. We just want to talk to them." Which is like, we just want to talk to you.
Literally, I was just going to say.
Yeah.
We just want to talk, man.
We just want to talk, man. Like, hands up.
Bro to bro.
Yeah, it's off the record. It's fine. But beside these witness statements and witness accounts, this was really the biggest evidence they had was these composite images.
Oy.
So detectives hoped that publishing them was maybe going to jog someone's memory of around that time. Someone from the public that was around the Burger Chef had maybe caught glimpse of these guys, and seeing the composite image was going to make them go, "Oh shit, yeah, I did see them." And they were hoping this person would come forward, help with an ID. However, the images definitely prompted people to call in, about 600 calls to police.
Wow.
None of them produced a concrete lead. Not one.
Now, do you think that was because the tip sucked, or do you think that was because the police department sucked?
I don't know. That's the
Could
thing.
be a combination.
Honestly, that's kind of the theme of this case.
Everyone sucks.
Is like, could it have been solved if they just did their jobs better?
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I think so.
I think I said it last time, or it might have been after we finished recording. If they hadn't cleaned up that crime scene, they could have dusted for prints, and obviously maybe couldn't have done a lot with them back then. But now, boom,
we'd have them. And it's like, at this point, we have no idea what evidence was left at that scene.
Nothing.
There could have been DNA at that
Blood.
scene. There could have been anything at that scene.
Hair.
There could have been, there could have been they could have taken a Polaroid photograph of themselves at that scene and left it on the floor or the counter, and it was thrown away.
Yeah.
We literally don't know. There could have been
boot prints,
a mural painted on the wall by one of them.
We're going in different directions here.
Like, it could have just. I'm just an artiste.
You're like, there could have been a Razor scooter belonging to one of the murderers that had DNA on it, and they parked it.
But
away.
You know what? There could have been.
I'm saying
we don't know. Because they just cleaned it all up and threw it away.
It could have hit one of those detectives in the ankle and he didn't even fucking know it.
Exactly. We don't know. That is the most frustrating thing.
It's so ridiculous.
It's not that they like, oh, there was blood and they cleaned it up. It's like, we don't fucking know.
No.
We have no idea what evidence was at that scene that could have absolutely nailed these fuckers. And it makes me crazy.
Well, and if one of them had a beard too, you're like, I know that shit was shedding.
I know your shit was not taken care of. It was shedding.
I know it.
So as 1978 came to an end, the murders were kind of starting to fade out of the papers.
That's fucked.
People are starting to move on. Nothing's happening in the case.
From the brutal killing of 4 youths in town.
And when I say people, I mean everyone but these poor victims' families who are still sitting there waiting for fucking justice. And police are just hitting wall after wall after wall. The reward money that the Burger Chef Corporation put out there, unclaimed, just sitting there. And apparently, even the typically very chatty jailhouse informants could not help push anything forward. And they were actually, there's a quote in the Indianapolis Star that said, the Marion County Jail, whose prisoners are usually a gold mine of information about crimes in central Indiana, had not yielded a single good tip about the murder.
Wow.
Like, that's pretty wild. Now, with the public kind of fading away from this case, the headlines are fading away. Investigators are now desperate to keep it in the papers, keep the public engaged,
Keep the pressure on these killers.
Yeah, they know they have to make up for what they've done.
Right.
Like what they haven't done for their negligence. So the Indianapolis Star actually set up this new system. And with this system, readers could submit tips or other information anonymously.
Okay.
Which always helps, I feel like. It always gets people to talk more. And what they said was, some of you may not realize you hold valuable information that just may aid police in solving the crime. And it said, do not sign the letter, but put a 5-digit number at both the top and the bottom page. Then make a jagged tear across the bottom of the sheet just above the number.
Okay.
Which I was like, that seems like a lot.
That's very intricate.
Can I just write in?
A lot of people are going to be intimidated by that. A lot of people are going to fuck that process up.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. If I'd be like, oh, okay. And then I'd read, like, put a 5-digit thing. I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, and I'd start, and then it would be like, also make this jagged. And I'd be like, I'm out. Like, that's the third thing you asked me to do. I'm out.
You know what that reminds me of? And I don't know if it will make sense to anyone else. It reminds me of the instructions for a Scantron test.
Oh, that's absolutely going to make sense to everyone listening,
good.
I feel
like that, like, do those, you get it?
Absolutely.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, your teacher would be like, okay, fill in this bubble with this specific pencil. Do not fill in the bubbles that are colored like this.
Yep.
And you were like, I have so much anxiety right now.
Write your name up here. Write your name on the bottom. Write your class number here.
Yes.
Write your class number here. Don't you dare write your class number here. Write my name over here. And you're like, can I just take the test?
Like, but what's my name?
What's my name, though? I don't understand. So the Star's reward desk immediately started receiving letters off of this because people were apparently not intimidated by it.
Okay.
We're all like, we would suck at this. But in 78, they were like, we're fine with it.
I mean, they were probably better.
Yeah, you know, they had to do a lot of shit. So some weren't like super detailed. Like one came from Johnson County from a man who said that he saw a suspicious man who bore a striking resemblance to the clean-shaven man. And this man was standing alone on Stones Crossing Road on November 18th. And that's it.
All right.
Just like saw this guy
that looked like that guy
without a beard standing
on a street
on that day.
Over there.
Like I saw him. I saw him on that night and he was standing.
And he did
so
not have a beard.
That man was not sitting. He was standing. And I imagine that these robbers, I imagine they were standing. So
I'm like, did he look suspicious?
Case closed, my friends. It's like,
was he just waiting for a bus?
Like, thanks for that, I guess. Like, we'll keep that in mind, that road contained a man that was standing.
Contained.
Yeah, so then there was other ones that were a little more detailed. One came from a Greenwood gas station attendant. He wrote in saying that he actually recognized those busts as two men who'd shortchanged him in the early morning hours of November 18th.
I have something to say.
Ooh.
If a gas station attendant tells you something,
listen.
Yeah. They know, like in a criminal investigation. I feel like they know.
Yeah, just in a criminal investigation.
Not like on a Tuesday, but.
Or in Urban Legend, the movie, when that poor man was just trying to scream, someone's in the back seat.
Oh, that man.
And she was being a dick.
She was being such a bitch.
That's one of those situations where you're like, you had the day you deserved, girl. I don't know what to tell you.
That man is so sweet.
So sweet. And he was just trying to tell you something, and he's a gas station attendant.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
They have seen some shit.
They're harbingers. They tell you when evil is afoot, and you need to listen to them.
Think about our friend at the gas station. He knows what the fuck
Hell
is
yeah,
up.
he always knows what's up.
And he has all the fucking drama.
Hell yeah, he does.
So listen to your local gas station attendant if they're informing you about a crime.
And this guy is saying that on November 18th in the early morning hours, he was shortchanged by two men who looked like those busts.
And of course you're going to remember that.
Yes, and he said it was strange because these men bought $12 worth of gas for their black Chevrolet. So he was able to provide that. And he said, but they attempted to pay with a $5 bill and 2 singles.
What?
So they attempted to pay $7 for $12 worth of gas. I think he thought like that they probably thought that he would just take the 5 thinking it was a 10.
Yep.
They could leave before he noticed.
Oh.
Which like,
wow.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
An asshole.
The fact that you just broke that down so easily,
because a 10 and 2 singles,
no, exactly.
So it's like I think they just did it to be dicks and like hoped he wouldn't notice. But I'm like, no, he's smarter than you. Now he immediately pointed out this error, and he was like, "I think you gave me the wrong bill." And they were like, "Oh, okay." So they went back to their car. They got the money, but then he said they both, quote, spewed obscenities at him while driving off.
What the fuck?
And it's like,
you just
okay,
stole his gas.
To me, that's a pretty credible tip.
Yeah, because that's already a crime.
And they seem like the kind of pieces of shit that would do something awful.
Right. So maybe track down.
Like if you're that big of a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit through and through.
Shit.
So the tips from the Speedway Police Hotline and the Indianapolis Stars Reward Desk, they prompted hundreds of responses, but really only a handful actually produced viable leads that they could even chase down. And then when they chased down those leads, nothing. Even the viable leads they chased down, nothing. So after 2 months of investigation, there was still not even a clear motive for this crime, because the robbers had seemingly gone into the Burger Chef to rob the restaurant.
Right.
But if that was the case, why the fuck did they kidnap and murder 4 teens there? Like, why did they do that? And it's like, we always hear the robbery gone wrong explanation for these kind of situations, but this was really wrong. Like, this went really wrong. And not only really wrong, but they took them far away.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like that's not even a typical robbery gone wrong. They're just gonna like presumably shoot them and leave them there.
That's the thing. That would be
That's
a robbery gone wrong, that they just start shooting and everybody is at the scene.
Right.
Very rare. I mean, typically robbers aren't in the habit of executing people in the middle of the woods. Like, pretty rare for that to happen. So the best explanation that detectives could have come to was that something had thrown them off their plan that night. Mm-hmm. That they went in there ready to rob that place, and some unexpected thing happened that threw the whole thing into just shenanigans. And the only difference that night that they could come to was the presence of Mark Flemons. He had switched shifts with another employee. Investigators started to theorize that Flemons knew or could at least identify one or more of the robbers who were thrown off by his presence and killed all of them in a panic. I don't agree with that. I think they're looking at that theory from the wrong angle, in my opinion. I don't think it was that Mark knew these people. I think it was that they went in there thinking there was 4 specific people that were going to be working, which it also was a girl who was supposed to be working in Mark's place. I wonder if they went in there saying, okay, there's 3 girls, there's 1 boy, and the boy is like a 16-year-old. Yep. We can take him. And then when they went in there and they saw, now there's 2 strong, like, you know, there's 2 like teenage boys, that threw everything off. I don't think it had to do with Mark knowing who these criminals were.
Because why would the only people that I would think he would know are like his fellow high schoolers.
That's the thing. I'm like, I don't
think this is the work of 2 high school students.
No, exactly. But even with all of that, it's still like that. Even if they came in there and they saw what they were not expecting to see, which is apparently an extra boy instead of an extra girl, because that's just my random speculation. I can see that like throwing everybody off, but like to that extent?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Not to that extent.
It's just that there's a lot of unanswered questions in that.
I feel like that's a theme of this whole case.
Yeah, every time you think you're like, oh, well, maybe this happened, you're like, no, that doesn't make sense. But maybe this is one of those things, too, that it's like, it doesn't make sense. None of it's senseless. So, like, maybe that's what it is.
That was very profound.
Thank you. I thought so, too. No, and I think it's real. So by March of 1979, really the problem, you know, the territorial thing between the departments,
egos,
the fragile egos, it was again causing problems for the Burger Chef murder investigation.
Come on.
And there was a lot of confusion among the press that was happening. On March 7th, the Indianapolis News reported, quote, Speedway Police Chief Robert Copeland and all his officers were ordered by his police commissioners and state police not to talk about any aspect of the November slayings. So they're essentially saying there was a gag order put on them.
Right.
But then when reporters asked more about this, they were told by the state police superintendent, John Shettle, this is the first I've heard of it. We don't dictate to anyone. We try to cooperate in a case like this.
What?
Those are 2 very conflicting things.
Yeah, that's opposite day, baby.
And then in the same vein, a spokesperson for the governor's office said, quote, gag orders are the authority of the judicial system.
Right.
Which implies that unless a judge has issued that gag order,
it's null and
you're
void.
not under a gag order. So it's so wild. And there was no explanation for this. So it seemed like Copeland's, you know, gag order, quote unquote, really was nothing more than just an attempt to avoid questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they didn't, and not take on more scrutiny or deal with more scrutiny from the press. Basically, not wanting to confront the fact that they had made 0 progress in this case and that it was botched from the start. And he was like, if I just say there's a gag order, nobody can talk about it. And it won't bring any focus to the negligence that we have committed.
Because that's the thing. He just doesn't have answers. So he's like, I can't say anything.
It's like, but you're just lying and making people believe you less.
He put a gag order on himself. He said, did. If you don't have anything to say, don't say anything.
Don't say anything at all.
Because what could you say if you don't have anything to say?
But then he just lied. And I was like, that's something.
Like a liar.
He lied right out of his face and into their faces.
Fucked up, brother.
But whatever. So investigators thought they had actually caught a break in April.
Okay.
Something popped. 2 men were arrested in Chicago on murder charges.
Shit.
And they were discovered to bear a pretty uncanny resemblance to the composite sketches.
Here we are.
Now, on April 24th, Milwaukee police, because it was charges were in Milwaukee. Milwaukee police arrested Stephen Coffey and Norman Pepin. These were 2 criminals from Somerville, Massachusetts.
I was there last night.
We were there last night.
Oh my God, they're fucking stomping ground.
There it is. So they were arrested for attempting to cash $300 in traveler's checks, but those traveler checks had been stolen from
travelers.
Not just a random person, but one of 2 men killed in a, quote, execution style killing.
Oh.
Yeah. The previous day, they had been flagged as being dead ringers for the composite sketches.
Execution style killings, you said.
Oh, yeah. It gets even crazier. So on Monday, April 23rd, they met 3 men. This is what happened. They met 3 men at a Milwaukee Holiday Inn. They were in the city for an engineering conference, and the 4 of them went to a disco, as you do.
Loves it.
Now, on their way back to the motel, they pulled off the side of the road and they robbed these men at gunpoint.
Jesus. They took them to a disco and then robbed them?
And what's even wilder about this is they then, quote, forced them to lie down in a ditch and shot them to death.
Dude.
Does this sound familiar?
Sure does.
Now, miraculously, one of the men survived.
Wow.
And he called the police and was able to identify these 2.
And he had been shot?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Now, based on their resemblance to the sketches and the fact that this was very similar, made them lie down, face down in a ditch before shooting them, all that like similarities to the Burger Chef case, they had Coffey and Pepin extradited to Indiana.
I don't blame them.
Because they were like, yeah, we got to at least look at this.
We got to talk to y'all.
There, they appeared before a judge and they had to wear paper bags over their heads because they couldn't jeopardize a lineup. And it would have tainted a lineup to have their faces out there.
I love that crafty solution.
And don't you love that visual?
Yes, I do.
It's so weird.
It feels wrong.
Now, unfortunately, apparently, when they looked at the timeline of everything, police announced on May 1st that Coffey and Pepin were no longer people of interest in the Burger Chef case.
Did they give reason?
Just like the timeline didn't match up. But I'm like,
okay, but like why? Like I need you to say because they were in Chicago when this happened.
Well, and it's like,
the timeline didn't work. I'm like, what about it didn't
work?
Well,
and also it's like, I don't know if I trust you with this case.
I know that I don't.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah, girl, me either.
I just don't know about that.
Yo no sé.
Yeah, but by October of that year, investigators once again found themselves just completely leadless on this whole thing. And it seemed like the Burger Chef murders were really fading out of the forefront here. They were fading out of the press. People weren't taking as much interest. And on October 2nd, the Metropolitan Board of Police Commissioners voted unanimously to fire Police Chief Robert Copeland.
Oh, shit.
And they voted to do this because of his lack of leadership on the bombings and the murder of Julia. And then also the Burger Chef murders.
So all the recent crimes.
All the things that he failed to lead his department about.
All of his jobs.
And so he was fired. And then after that, there was a bunch of dismissals or transfers of like at least a handful of other law enforcement officers that had something to do with the Burger Chef case.
Wow.
So they got either transferred out or they were just dismissed.
That's interesting that some of them got transferred out and some got dismissed.
Yes, it's a very strange.
I also don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Now, yeah. So years are going by at this point.
Right.
Tips are starting to dry up. They're coming in, but they're not really doing anything. Leads are definitely nowhere to be found. And the case is really going cold at this point. Then in December of 1984, Indianapolis Star journalist Dan Lusiter, I think it's Luzatter or Lusiter.
I thought you said loser. And I was like, I don't think that's
Lusiter, I think it is.
Okay.
He received a call from an inmate from the Marion County Jail. Finally, they're chit-chatting.
Alrighty.
Now, this inmate was in there after being arrested for a ton of thefts. This man said that he had information about the Burger Chef case. He said, it's going to be a great story, and I will happily give it to you as long as you're willing to help me out.
No.
And so Dan was like, yeah, I don't know how I can possibly help you because I'm a journalist. Like, I'm not a judge. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. But he was like, you know what? It's worth finding out at least what he has to say. So he made his way down to the Marion County Jail to talk to him. Now, at this point, the Burger Chef murder case is 6 years old.
Damn.
And at this point, like every single detail had been told, retold in the newspapers. It'd been turned around, it'd been lied about, it'd been retracted, all this
It's
stuff.
just been through the mud.
It has.
Through the thick of it.
But it was, I guess, this reporter, Dan, he said that there was something about the story that that this guy was telling him that seemed truthful, like it seemed real.
Okay.
And he said, more importantly, the man claimed to know the identities of who was responsible for the murders.
Well, so we got to hear
And
him
he
out.
said one of those people has already been dismissed by investigators.
Maybe that's why they were transferred.
And then he said the other one was a name that he had actually heard, but that this reporter had never heard before, but the police definitely had. This guy's name was Donald Ray Forrester. Now, Donald Ray Forrester's name, like I said, didn't ring a bell to Dan, but it definitely rang a bell with the Speedway area police, because since he was a teen, Forrester had been very familiar with law enforcement. He was a petty criminal, disorderly conduct, like petty theft, reckless driving, those kind of things.
What did I say in the beginning? I said, this is not their first rodeo.
No way. There you go.
I knew it.
But then after all these petty thefts and these little crimes, he definitely escalated to a violent crime in 1977. So right before the Burger Chef murders, he was arrested for, quote, assault and battery with the intent to gratify sexual desires.
Holy shit.
Which is a mighty escalation.
Yeah, that is.
Now, Forrester had actually been out on parole when the Burger Chef murders were committed, and he was arrested again for rape in April of 1979.
Wow.
So this goes in line.
Were the two female victims checked to see if they had like any signs that they had been raped?
It didn't seem like they had been. Nothing that I read suggested that they were.
Okay.
But he had been sentenced to 95 years in prison.
Wow.
So
good.
So Dan Lusiter, he went on like a research deep dive on the Burger Chef murders and on Donald Ray Forrester, because he was like, I got to try to make a connection here. And then he finally contacted Forrester, who was actually serving out his sentence at Pendleton Reformatory. So he finally got him to agree to meet with him, and the meeting was June 24th, 1985. Now, at that point, Forrester had already been questioned by investigators about the Burger Chef murders. He had failed 2 polygraph tests, but he was saying that he knew nothing about the case. Nothing about the crime.
It's so funny because when somebody I'm rooting for fails a polygraph, I'm like, it means nothing.
It hot dog in a trench coat.
And then when somebody I'm like, I don't know about you,
You're
they
like,
failed, I'm
maybe.
like, oh, they did it.
You're like, yep, that was it. I know, it's so true. But so this reporter, though, was like, because he's saying he knew nothing about the case. This reporter is not going to give up hope, though, because he's like, there's some connections here. The timing is making sense. He was out on parole during that time. He had just escalated to a lot of violence.
Yeah.
And he committed another act of violence after.
Yeah. It's not like his name was just pulled out of thin air.
But when he's going to meet with him, he's like, I have to be realistic about this. He might not give me anything. So when he went, he asked Forrester, he said, did you commit the murders? And Forrester said, I did not. But then Lusiter began just like Dan, he began like pondering aloud. He's like, I just wonder why. Why did these murders occur?
Smart boy.
And I guess Forrester, who was not asked directly this, just gave an answer and said it was drugs and homosexuality.
What?
Yep. And he went on to say he was innocent, but he said he did know who committed the murders. And he said, I'll give you that information if you get me a new trial for the rape charges that I'm in here for.
And Dan is like, one more time for the people in the back.
I'm a
motherfucking
fucking journalist. I can't give you a new trial, dude.
I can write you a bomb-ass article.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I've got.
That's all I got, man.
Maybe I could put a good word in with my editor. Like, I don't know.
It's just like, are you kidding me? But over the next few weeks, Dan Lusiter spent hours and hours and days just investigating Forrester. And eventually he got to interview Forrester's ex-wife.
Oh, shit. The plot motherfucking thickens.
Now, his ex-wife, she told Lusiter, that you need to bring detectives to this house.
Okay.
So he did. He brought detectives, and she led them to shell casings that were hidden in the couple's septic tank that matched the ones found in the Burger Chef murders.
I don't even know where my septic tank is.
Do you remember in school when you just knew that your teacher had a favorite of everything? They would always use the same blue dry erase marker when they wrote on the board, or they would talk nonstop about their favorite element during science. I had a teacher once that literally had a favorite brand of marker. She would only write with specific markers, and if another marker ended up in her classroom, she was TO'd. And honestly, I was probably her favorite student because at the end of the year, I got her that specific brand of marker. Let's talk about their real favorite thing though, their favorite tissue brand. Kleenex. According to teacher lists, they are the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. Kleenex Ultra Soft tissues are silky soft to help prevent skin irritation, and now you can take them anywhere with Kleenex Snap and Go. I absolutely love Kleenex Snap and Go. It's so perfect to have that in your car. I had a cold last week and I was just, honey, my nose was a faucet. I hate to do this to you, but it was disgusting. Drew literally came out of our garage with like 15 of the Kleenex Snap and Goes, and I put those in my glove compartment, and honey, they were easy access. It was so nice knowing that I didn't have to blow my nose into like an old wrapper that I had. Ew. So do the best thing for your kids' teachers and stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. Maybe it'll make them their teacher's favorite student. They definitely have a favorite. Don't even get me started because again, you know it was me. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. I happen to be somebody that struggles with people pleasing. So a lot of times I will build things up and up and up and up and up and then kind of get to the point where I'm like, I need to let this out to this person. Even in 2026, that stigma and just stigma in general can get in the way of a lot of things, like getting support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking that first step yourself because you're busy. You're worried about what other people might think, or telling yourself that you should handle this all alone. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, can be a space to slow down and talk through what's been building before it feels unmanageable. Just take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully qualified. Don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/morbid. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/morbid.
But they do.
How, like,
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
What?
So then
Does that mean that they weren't flushing their septic tank?
I have no idea how that works.
You're like, don't ask those questions.
I have no idea.
You're like, what's a sub?
I'm like, I don't know what they were doing. But
what the fuck?
But Luciter brought this information to Forrester and was like,
hey.
yeah. Like, do you want to say anything about that? And he was like, oh no, I'm still innocent. But then he was like coyly giving pieces of information that you were like,
why would you know that?
How do you know that? But he kept saying he wanted something in return.
And Dan again is like, I have nothing to give.
So detectives were called in here to talk to him, and detectives spent weeks with him. They drove him to locations around that they thought might be connected to the murders. They brought him to a hypnotist in Akron, Ohio, but he would not admit to doing it. And he said he'd never been there. He had nothing to do with it. And investigators were so frustrated at this point. But eventually, he did provide the names of 2 men that he claimed were the killers. But detectives interviewed these 2 men, and they immediately knew he was lying.
And also, like, oh, you just took the shell casings for them
Yeah,
and hid them in your
exactly.
fucking septic tank all these years?
Well, and they were like, as soon as they sat down and started talking to them, the 2 men, they were like, no,
it's
like
not
this is a lie.
right.
So by November of 1986, now nearly 8 years after the Burger Chef murders occurred, detectives were just done. They were like, Donald Forrester is not going to do the right thing. He's not going to confess.
Of course not.
We just have to try to get some evidence to like force it. And then they were stunned because they received a call that year saying that Donald Forrester wanted to chat with them. So no one understands why or what led this to happen, but Donald Forrester sat down with these detectives on November 10th, 1986, and he gave a detailed confession of the murders.
So what do you mean that this is unsolved?
So, and these were details that only someone who was there that night could have known. Like, he described the positions of the bodies, the wounds they suffered. One of the things he said was that Daniel Davis had been shot in the cheek, and that had never been released to the public.
So why did he get arrested?
And that's a pretty well, he's in jail for 95 years.
Oh, right, duh.
So yeah.
But did he have to, like...
Well, he also told investigators that the gun that was used, they threw in the White River, which makes sense that they never found the gun.
That's a big old river.
And he also confessed that it was him who had shot Ruth Shelton and Daniel Davis.
Oh my God.
He admitted to the two, which also makes sense because Jane and Mark were the ones that were found further away. So not only did he confess, but he's confessing correctly, saying, I'm the one who shot the two that were found on the ground.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like, this guy did it.
And did he say who he did it with, or he wouldn't give them the name?
Now, so according to him, the murders, quote, resulted from an effort to collect a large debt over a cocaine deal that involved one of the victims. And the crimes had been committed by multiple people, obviously. Now, this was not seeming to be the real story, because if we look at the four people involved, like the four victims, it doesn't add up. So everybody was like, I don't know about that. But in 1981, Jane Freet's brother, James, was arrested on cocaine charges.
Oh, so you think maybe they went there to, like, fuck with his sister?
Yeah.
To, like, intimidate him?
Mm-hmm. And he actually said at the time of his arrest that he suggested that Jane's murder could have been connected to his
arrest
cocaine shit.
Oh, no.
It doesn't look like the investigators followed up on it at the time, though, in 81.
What the fuck were they doing?
It was in 81.
Right.
Like only a couple of years after the murders that he was arrested, Jane's brother. And at that time, he said to investigators, guys, I think this might be the reason that my sister was killed. And they didn't follow up on it.
Like,
and now this guy is sitting here saying that it's a cocaine deal.
And is there any notes or anything? Like,
do. But that's like wild that they just didn't follow. Like,
yeah,
I cannot imagine a more poorly fucking handled case than this.
No. Well, and
all
also,
the way through.
Seriously. Because it's like, it's also, once you look at the scene, you're like, yeah, that actually makes perfect fucking sense. Like,
exactly. You're like, okay, now I see.
That's why they didn't take the ring. That's why they didn't take the cash. They took the
money out of the thing. They got what they wanted, and then they got to that. And that's what, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yep.
Now, based on this whole thing, police now connected the murders to the huge drug ring that had been operating in Speedway at the time.
Okay.
It was run by a guy that Forrester actually implicated as the individual who planned the whole thing in the first place.
Yeah, because he was running it, so he wanted his money.
Exactly. Now, in exchange for the information, Forrester was granted immunity from prosecution for this.
Because he was already in prison for 95 years.
But he was only going to be granted that if he hadn't committed the murders, which he already confessed to.
Okay.
So they kind of like played a little game.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks, but this kind of backfired because 2 weeks later, he recanted. And he said that he had been coerced to confess by police and that they threatened to, they threatened all this stuff, and that when he was sent back to prison, he was going to be labeled an informant, and like that was going to get him killed. So that was him getting scared that he confessed.
Right.
And that he told all this shit about a huge drug ring.
Yeah.
And that when he went back in, that they were going to like clearly make him pay for it.
Exactly.
So now the confession is recanted, and investigators are looking for anything that can tie physically Forrester to these murders. I mean, that confession is great because he gave the details that only someone there could know.
But then
they have nothing physical.
And then it's like, if he's saying he was coerced into that, it's their word against his.
Because then he can say, well, they gave me those details.
Exactly.
But so they're trying to come up with anything, and they came across a charge from 1969 where Forrester was actually arrested for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl.
Wow, he's a piece of actual human garbage.
Yep, in a wooded area off Stones Crossing Road, which was about 1.5 miles from where the Burger Chef murders occurred.
Wow.
Now, for some reason, he was never sentenced for sexual assault.
Oh, good.
But it kind of proved that, one, he's a piece of shit, and two, that he's familiar with the area that they were
Location.
found. Now, unfortunately, District Attorney Stephen Goldsmith didn't think this was sufficient to prove his guilt, which I can kind of see.
If I was on a jury, I don't know if that would
just
move
not
me.
enough. That's the thing. Now, his confession and then the recanting of that put the district attorney in a really bad position. There's one hand that's like like I said, the details. It's a near
Uncanny.
certainty that he is one of the killers.
Absolutely.
A near certainty. But on the other hand, this story had unraveled and been told and retold and fucked around so many times that it was now really difficult to tell what was true and what was lies.
Yeah.
And what was manipulated and what wasn't.
But the fact that he knew the details of like one of them being shot in the cheek when
That's
that
the
had
thing.
never been released. I'm
And
like,
they all believe like he 100% is one of the killers. Like
Yeah.
that is it. But it just makes proving it
impossible.
a completely uphill battle. And the biggest problem that the district attorney faced was that so many people had been involved in the investigation and had contact with Forrester.
Right.
And all of them had received varying versions of the story. And none could settle on just one version of the story.
Yeah.
So it was like no one could even settle on like, this is the narrative. And then what makes everything worse is that the territorial stuff and the ego stuff had completely plagued everything about this case over the years, had led to so many miscommunications, tainted evidence, missing evidence. There was going to be a mistrial if they brought this to trial.
100%.
It was such a tainted investigation
Because it was
from the beginning.
Fucked from the start. Exactly.
It was. Now, on December 20th, 1986, DA Goldsmith called a meeting with investigators from all the agencies involved in this case. Together, they combed over Forrester's statement. It was 1,200 pages.
1,200?
All the statements that he had made.
Holy cannoli.
And after reviewing everything, Goldsmith held a press conference and he made an announcement. He said after careful consideration of this entire thing, he would not be pursuing charges against Donald Ray Forrester for the Burger Chef murders.
So bad for those families. They
Yeah.
must have had hope for the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time in like so many years, and then to
Mhm.
just have that ripped away from you.
And he said that it like killed him
Of
to
course.
not do it. But he said too many years have gone by. Too many mistakes have been made in this case. And I don't know if we're going to be able to solve it.
No. Well, and the thing
Like,
is, it's
like legally solve it.
Exactly. Like, I think everybody kind of knows what
Yeah.
happens at this point. And it's like, that's horrible for the family that they had that hope. But at the same time, I'm glad that he realized that they didn't have enough, because if all those families had to go through trials
Exactly.
and reopening all of that, and then to have it end in a mistrial or not guilty, fuck that.
Exactly.
That
That's the
would've
thing.
sucked.
Because it's like if they had gone through with it, it just would have tainted it further.
Exactly.
So it's like I understand why he was like, it's really not worth it to do this.
Oh, it's such a bummer though.
I know it bummed me out so much.
It's
and
like more
'cause
than
I
a
know
bummer.
he did it. Now, in 2003,
Oh shit.
25 years after the murders, Rachel and John Shelton, who are the parents of Ruth Shelton,
Mhm.
they gave an interview about the still unsolved Burger Chef murders. And they said, at first, I was convinced that it would be solved. That's what her mother said. And she said, I guess we sure don't hold our breath about it. It was a very long time ago, which
I
is like
can't
so sad,
imagine.
because that's just like just throwing our
Nothing we can
hands up
do.
like no one's going to do it. Now, they had both hoped the killer would have been caught, but then when detectives told them that they didn't have enough evidence to prosecute the suspects, John Shelton said, to be honest, I don't even want to know their names.
I
Like he was
can't
like, I
blame
don't
him,
even
really. Because it's like,
need
if I
to know.
don't know for sure, then I don't want to harbor hatred and resentment
Yeah.
toward one person that could or
Mhm.
could not have done
So
it.
it's like, forget it. I don't
Right.
even want to deal with it.
It's so half-assed at that point.
I know.
I'd be like, fuck off.
Yeah, like whatever. And today, the Burger Chef murder case is open but inactive.
It's so hard because it's like
Yeah.
there's no evidence
It's
to
just
look
sitting
back
there.
on.
And all the evidence that they do have, all the notes, all the statements and everything, it's in a 5-drawer file cabinet and 6.5-foot wall locker that's at State Police District 52 office, just sitting there, just not being touched. It's been years since they've pursued any leads. And most of the original investigators, or actually all of the original investigators on the case, have either retired or died.
Yeah.
And the Burger Chef restaurant chain was actually sold to CKE Restaurant Holdings in 1982. And it is now Hardee's Restaurant, which I didn't know.
I don't know if have I heard of Hardee's?
Hardee's, it's like burgers, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And today, the old Burger Chef restaurant on Crawfordsville Road and Speedway sits empty.
Oh,
isn't that chilling?
Really chilling.
Yeah,
but then at the same time, it's like, what would you want to see go up there?
I know.
Other than a memorial, like
no,
a park
it's true,
or
like something. I know it should be like a park.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah,
but in the end, we're just left with this frustrating void of information that we know. If more investigatory due diligence was done from the get-go and people didn't walk into this thing with a preconceived narrative in their head and they had actually taken even one fucking photo of that scene, that this all could be different.
Is mind-boggling.
But now we're sitting here and they're trying to solve this case that was just completely erased from the beginning. They erased it. From the beginning.
And literally, they magic erased it away.
Yeah. And it's like, and then they're trying to right from the get-go, they're all sitting there being like, well, I think these kids just, they decided that night to just steal all the money out of the safe and then took off together. Like, that was their first theory. And it's like,
with no prior past of any kind of fucking, with no criminal past.
Like, it's just like, okay, I see you. And then later they theorized that it must be Mark, the only Black employee that was taken out of that restaurant that day, who knew the killers and that he was the reason that they were all killed. And it's like, with what fucking evidence? You have no evidence to back that up.
You're racist.
Like, we're just going to go with Mark being the problem here. I don't think any of them were the problem here.
No, I think they were
all victims. And I do think that if Jane's own brother suggested that the cocaine stuff could have been to do with it, like his sister's murder.
Yeah.
I think we should listen to them.
Right.
They're
and
telling
ask
you
some follow-up questions on that.
And he's not bullshitting. It's not like her brother is being like, oh no, blah, blah. He's actively saying, like, probably out of guilt, like probably out of like anger and sadness and like grief, like this could have had something to do with it. Like, investigate it.
That's
and
the
they
thing.
were
Like, why would he say that other than to be like, please, like, investigate this? He's not going to implicate himself even further.
No, he brought it like that's a fucking brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, regardless of what he was doing in his personal life or any like the cocaine stuff, it's like that he was being a brother.
Yeah,
like he was being a brother and being like, I'm going to put myself out on a limb here, and I want you to investigate this because I think it could have something to do with it. And they just ignored him.
Ugh.
And then you have Donald Ray Forrester sitting there giving that exact same story and saying it is because of cocaine,
right,
and a debt that would needed to be paid. And it's like, that seems to me to line up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very frustrating case.
And also, if that is the case with the whole cocaine charge, it's like, why did you you didn't need to involve his sister in the Burger Chef restaurant?
No, it's
like,
fucked up.
Deal with it directly.
No, it's really fucked up.
But
it's scary what money will do to people.
And drugs.
Yeah. Money and drugs mixed together. Oof.
Bad.
Yikes.
News.
It's like a bad combination.
Oh God, that's so scary. Drug rings, I think, are one of the scariest fucking things on the planet because it's just
truly
ruthless.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, with that being said, we hope you keep listening.
We hope you
keep
it weird.
But it's so weird that you run a drug ring because we're scared. Bye.
Bye.
Talk about regrets. We all know someone who's been in a car accident and said, I don't need to call a lawyer, only to regret it after their pain and damages were worse than expected. When someone hurts you, you deserve to be compensated fairly. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, fighting for the people for over 35 years. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast. Their fee is free unless they win.
In the U.S., there's a break-in every 26 seconds. But when intruders step near, Simply Safe Home Security steps up.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on the way.
Using AI alerts, U.S.-based live agents help deter break-ins. Simply Safe, no long-term contracts. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/SXM or with promo code SXM.
Outdoor deterrence requires a Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.